Yeah, it's not actually what happens. You don't have this moment where you get this like YouTube highlight reel of your life that gets played back for you. So there's the phenomenon is called time dilation.
Hmm.
And a lot of people call that matrix time just because it's cooler to call it that. But what basically happens is, so you have these mechanisms in our brain that all play this really major role in this. And this is the amygdala, which is the part of our brain which really governs emotions like fear and anger. You have the hippocampus, which is strongly tied to memory. And then you have a structure called the medial prefrontal cortex. I'm trying to not bore you here with neuroanatomy, but basically these structures work together. And so basically what happens is when we're in a near-death experience, the amygdala in particular goes into hyperdrive. And so the amygdala is the part of our brain that's really storing emotional memories. So that's why when people have PTSD, and it's so difficult to fix, so to speak, because you're really dealing with the part of our brain when things are traumatic, when things are scary, dangerous, that it really, it's like our brain's DVR, and it, instead of capturing at 30 frames a second, it's capturing at 120.
Mm.
So visual aspects of it, the tactile and the auditory and the emotional aspects of this are all intensified, and so those get stored in our amygdala. But in that moment where you think we're about to die, you have those three systems that kind of play together, and what they do is give us a chance. It's that fight or flight thing, right? It gives us our chance to kind of get out of there. This is not a new development for humans. This is something that's been going around since the saber-toothed tigers were chasing us. Like this is an ancient system that is designed to give us a chance to collect ourselves and take stock of our surroundings and take action to preserve our lives. It's a survival mechanism. So that's what happens. So that's why, in that moment for me, yeah, as I said, 3 seconds maybe, and it felt like an eternity, long enough for me to have uh, a conversation essentially with myself. And what's interesting too is that, I couldn't tell you what I had to have for breakfast last Tuesday, but I remember every aspect of that accident so vividly, again,
Hmm.
because that part of my brain was in hyperdrive. And so people that have these brushes with death, or really a traumatic moment, or somebody holds them at gunpoint, whatever the trigger is for that stressor in the moment, we tend to have a really clear and vivid detail of it. And often our perception of time, that incident feels like it's much, much longer than it actually is in reality.
Hmm.